In the COVID-19 era, hiring is a bigger issue than ever. So for this week's tip, I'm going to be joined by Chris Menkhaus, our Senior Power Client Manager. He's going to cover a couple of the points he goes over with MGE clients to make sure that they can hire quickly and efficiently. So for this week's tip, we're doing something a little different. I'm actually going to be joined by Chris Menkhaus, our Power Client Manager. Now I'll tell you a little bit about Chris. Chris has been with us for over 10 years. He's also run 2 extremely large dental practices prior to coming with us. And he is extremely well trained in the system that we teach here at MGE, which is why he's the Senior Power Client Manager. So Chris, I'm going to introduce Chris here.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now I know what we were talking about the other day specifically, because this is affecting our clients as well, is this issue of finding good personnel, especially now,
Yes.
post-COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
And some of the things you said to me I found really interesting. So now what is it you're running into and how are you handling it?
Okay, so the first thing that we start with is actually the very first step of the process, which is the ad. And when you write an ad for new staff, you're writing a marketing ad for your office, right? Just like when you advertise for new patients, you're advertising for staff. And you want to take that approach, right? You don't want to write a dissertation that puts someone to sleep or doesn't stand out or blends in with everybody else's ad. Right now, you also have to think of the audience you're advertising to, right? Because especially now, some areas of the country, what we're seeing is there's a surplus of good people available because maybe less offices have reopened. In other areas, it's become more and more challenging to find good staff, right? Especially clinical staff in certain areas like hygienists, etc. So your ad has to stand out. And you also want to think, what is that person looking for, right? Because it's not so much when you advertise what you want, it's what they want, right? When you do a new patient special, your new patient special is usually like, $99 special, exam, x-rays, and cleaning, regular value $299, call now, great, modern dental office. And that gets the person to call and come in. You're not advertising for, I want cheap patients, who want a deal, right? But, a lot of the hiring ads we see are more thorough, so they're more like, if I was going to do a new patient ad like a hiring ad, it would read, wanted patients with broken teeth who have care credit, preferably not dental phobic and available in the mornings for high value procedures.
Credit score over 720.
Yeah, credit score over 720.
Not a lot of debt.
Yeah, not a lot of debt. Preferably with family members who also need work, right? And so instead, your hiring ad, most people look, the reality is most people that are qualified, good staff are looking, one of the things that's going to attract them is money, right? And a lot of people are very shy to say that, because I don't want to have money motivated people. And that's true. I don't want people who just work for money, right? I want people who believe in dentistry and improving people's lives through dentistry. But the reality is the reality, right? People, you're going to have, if you don't say anything about money in your ad, you're going to get less of a response.
So would you specifically get into how much money they're going to make, or would you have a range, or would you have highly compensated, or what would you be putting in there?
Well, Jeff, it's really interesting. When we looked at clients and we researched like what they're paying their staff on average and what the average pay is in the area, do you know that, and that's surprising because our clients are the best. I would say almost all of our clients pay in the very top ranges.
Interesting.
But they don't advertise it. They're not saying that in the ad.
Got it.
And so it's one of these things that you want to make sure is in the ad. Like, be one of the best compensated hygienists in name that city.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Career opportunity for customer service representative. Sometimes you want to change the name, right? Or scheduler. And you want to really lay out, and then you say a couple of other great things about the office, like private practice, modern facility,
right?
Be treated, like the great employee you are.
So like kind of selling their value, because they're not really selling their value, especially with MGE clients, because look, we're of course biased. They are the best, but I mean, MGE clients are in the top producing clients in the United States. So obviously, right?
Yeah, hands down.
But so I guess we're not set. That you were finding a few clients weren't selling their value of the office to being an employee in the office.
Right.
Interesting.
Not selling their value, and also making the ad try and be a job interview instead of an ad. Like the ad, what is your new patient ad there to do? It's there to get me to call or contact your office.
Right.
To inquire about becoming a new patient. That's why you're advertising. So my hiring ad is not to screen out and interview 100 people and decide who's, and so I'm not trying to interview people or have people make a decision about the job in the ad. So if you put too much information, people feel like they can dismiss it out of hand. And they went, well, I won't get a perfect candidate if I don't put enough information. It's not true. The way you're going to find the perfect candidate is to have lots of applicants.
Got it.
Now, a lot of people will do general websites. Like they'll do Indeed or Craigslist.
Right.
Or and Craigslist is old, but it's funny, in little pockets of the country it still works. I would say 15 years ago, Craigslist was great.
Yeah. Then it got weird.
Then it got weird.
Yeah.
Got on certain TV shows. And,
Exactly.
And then it's hiring, and the marketing for hiring, marketing ads, hiring ads is a lot like marketing ads for new patients. Meaning, what works in Chicago might not work in Boston, and what works in Boston might not work in the middle of Pennsylvania and other areas of the country, right? So the principles are pretty much the same, but you may have to tweak it here and there. The keys are, don't make it too long, make it sound appealing.
Okay.
Right? And of course, just like we teach in the new patient workshop, there should be a call to action, right?
Got
so
it.
I'm going to say a couple little things and then apply here, apply now. And it should be an ad, and this is important, that you would respond to.
All right, so what would you say are kind of the bullet points? So I'm going to write my ad now. What are the points you want me to focus on?
Well, first thing I want to say is something about compensation. I want them to know it's going to be great compensation. I generally want to say full-time, right? And I want to say something about the office, positive, again, looking at it from the viewpoint of the applicant.
So sort of to sell the office.
Right. And then from there, I should get and the last thing would be a call to action. Right. And then with that, I should start getting a lot of responses.
Okay, now what about if we do that? Because I know this has happened to a few people, right? So we write this very simple, boom, to the point, bang, bang, bang ad, but then I'm not getting responses.
Okay, good. So there's two things we can do. The first thing we want to do is, just like when we're marketing and we feel good about our marketing, but we're not getting the response that we think we should be getting, we expand our reach. There are lots of dental specific websites, and each one is very successful in different areas of the country. Some are more national, some are less national. And the analogy we usually use with this is a lot like fishing. Right, where I might catch, I'm not good on fish, but if I might catch
our cameraman Matt he's Mr. Fisherman, so he has lots of fishing analogies. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Great, right. So Matt could tell us better on that. But on one side of the ocean, I might use shrimp to catch a certain type of fish, and on the other side, I might use small fish to catch a big fish, same type of fish, right? So the technology of fishing is the same, right? But the bait we use might change.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
So we might change the bait a little bit.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that's awesome, Chris. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I think, because obviously we're not going to get into the interview process and stuff like that. We get into that at our team building seminars that we do on the MGE program. I like the idea of what you mentioned specifically. This is marketing.
Yeah.
A hiring ad is marketing, right? So a good place for people to start would be the New Patient Workshop if they're not familiar with MGE.
Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, obviously, all the training we do on hiring and team building in the Power Program, that is really, where it goes from difficult to a two-surface filling, right? Replacing a good employee.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. And we plan on doing this a lot just so you can kind of hear it straight from our Power Client Managers, or in this case, the Chief Power Client Manager working directly with the clients. And if you'd like to know more about MGE, you can find out more about us by going to our website, mgeonline.com. You can also call us at 800-640-1140. And if you'd like to be notified as these tips come out, don't forget to click the notifications button at the bottom, and you'll be told when the video is published. Guys, do great, and we'll see you at the next tip.